Hey, what's good, YouTube? Welcome back to the Brown Gent. Guys, I think you saw this in the title. NFTs are back. In fact, right now, it just makes so much more sense to make sure you're continuously catching every single mint that you can, getting whitelists where possible. We're going to talk to you very, very quickly about what opportunities exist and how much of a game changer this will be for your portfolio. Airdrops are still going to be big. I'm likely going to be doing sort of a little bit more NFT coverage as well now that we're getting into this. As always, my goal on this channel is always to bring you what the best opportunities are, with the ultimate goal of creating a sort of high performing portfolio. Because whether you make money in airdrops, meme coins, pre-launches, NFTs, ordinals, whatever it may be, the whole goal is to build your spot bag and ride that spot bag up to Valhalla in this bull run. So that's sort of what we're going to talk about. But before we do, just remember, nothing I say here is financial advice. Please do your own research. I'm just a guy on YouTube. And if you haven't done so already, smash the like button, share the video, subscribe to the channel. Follow me on Twitter, check me out on DeBank, and if you want extra coaching, guidance, and support, we got the Web3 Secret Society, or you can schedule a private video call. I'm going to be turning off the video calls very, very soon just because we're going for the holidays, so make sure you get into that as soon as you can. Now, guys, it only took a couple days of red to bring us all the way back from super greed to almost like in that neutral range. We're like 2 points away on the fear and greed index of actually like not being like greedy anymore. Just take a look at that. It's such an incredible feat to see that, given how high the price of Bitcoin is. And a lot of this is because while Bitcoin's price is high, Ethereum and everything else has not been doing as well. There are some exceptions. Some tokens that have been doing decent are things like SUI, which have shown tremendous strength. In fact, I also believe XRP also showed a lot more strength than most tokens, but Sol, ETH, a bunch of the others like Avalanche down upwards of 20% over the week. And a lot of this has been sort of a direct result of the comments coming out of the meeting with the Fed, right? The basic takeaway there was inflation is still an issue. We won't be cutting rates 3 times in 2025, but only 2 times. And the market wants to get ahead, so they're pricing this in. And that's why we're seeing much of a correction. That being said, when you see these corrections and you go to the demand zones for your tokens, they become very prominent and very promising buying opportunities. I know a lot of you will still say, hey, you know what, Brown Jet, I don't care what you say. We can still go to zero. So you'll sit here, wait, and then you'll chase it after the fact. Just remember, yes, you can make money by buying it higher, but you can make even more money by buying it at specific key levels. And you can look up how to find sort of supply and demand zones on charts. Now, I thought this meme was sort of very funny by Bo Leonidas. And is this alt season in the room with us right now? So I just had to sort of show it to you guys. So before we get into the video, I just wanted to talk about a few things. I wrote this summary earlier today, which is basically what I think is farming airdrops 101. I've talked about this on many occasions, sort of at different points in time. I continue to reiterate, and I believe I was probably the first one to mention this, which was, guys, it's not about farming airdrops so much as it is finding protocols that will likely give an airdrop and reward you for activity you're normally doing. So when you're bridging, I use layer 0 technology, or I use wormhole technology. When I'm using swaps, I was using Jumper. But if I'm on, and Jumper got me the Odos airdrop, right? And if I'm on Solana, I would use Jupiter. So I was getting the airdrop that way. ZK Sync, I was sort of using their liquidity protocols. In Sonic, I will be doing the exact same thing. I'm going to be using my lend borrow strategy that I've talked about. And this is what's going to really end up paying you and you're not paying any like ridiculous fee. So once you start using this as a cost of doing business and then you get rewarded for it like a loyalty program, you just do so much better on airdrops and you actually do real activity. And that gets me to point two, which is there are a lot of people out there who have zero talent, zero strategic insight. They just literally got popular on Twitter because they joined at the right time. So either that or they sort of bought their following. You can really tell, like you look at, some of these people who got like 100K followers and they get like 5 likes on a tweet, but a lot of them are just here to farm referrals. A lot of them are here to farm engagement because they get paid by Twitter. And then finally, a lot of them provide bad advice so that you don't qualify for the airdrop. So it's like sort of like a massive detriment to you. I know so many popular NFT threadsers, or not NFT, airdrop threadsers, who would tell you to bridge $5, do a bunch of things, bridge out, and then you would just think, hey, this airdrop is a scam because everyone else got money, but I didn't. It's because you listen to these idiots. Finally, there's so many opportunities. The reality is, don't feel bad. I'm going to tell you this right now. As we scale up into crypto, I'm now full-time crypto, right? I left my job about a month and a half ago, but I don't have the time to be on top of every single opportunity. And if you have a full-time job as well, how are you ever going to be part of that? So a lot of it is, hey, number 4, which is, having that tight community. If you have a tight community, you guys can sort of find out together what's going on and decide what the best opportunities to spend your time on. Otherwise, if you have some friends together and do it. Now, that's why we got the Web3 Secret Society, but you don't need to join that. You can have your own friend group, or you can build your own community that can sort of have that rigor, that work ethic to, sort of identify all these things so that when something comes by, you have your alpha group and you're not missing a ton of opportunity. Because in the next 3 to 4 months, this is your time to capitalize on those opportunities. You're going to see 100Xs in chats all the time. I'm going to talk about one in a second, but you want to make sure that you're looking at that. And then your time and your money are valuable, right? So your liquidity is super expensive. Don't park it in things like mitosis, where they'll give you like points for you leaving like hundreds of thousands of dollars if you're doing that, or even thousands of dollars on a protocol, even $50 on a protocol. But then also your time, like when you're farming, don't be sitting there doing infinite test nets, right? Like I did the mitosis test net, and even then I'm like, I don't know if I want to do it, but it's worthwhile if you want to build up your portfolio. But you have to decide which ones you're going to do. You can't do everything. You're going to burn out and you'll get upset if you don't get rewarded appropriately. So just sort of want to tell you that. And then finally, when you do make money, whether it's through NFTs, you take profit, or for example, when it comes to your meme coins or your airdrops, a lot of people just get these things, mint them, hold on to them forever, ride them down to zero and go, well, you know what? It didn't really cost me anything. So people treat them like a lottery ticket, or you can treat them like I do, which is a compounding effect. So, when you do these things, sometimes you're going to cut something early and it's going to keep running. But other times it would have went to zero. And you're better off, just in my opinion, at least that's how I see it. I like to just get cash in the sure thing. That is like a pretty good payout, and use that in things that I have high conviction in. Now, if you have high conviction in the thing that I'm telling you to take profit on, then hold on to it. But I know too many people come to me and say, hey, they show me their portfolio on coaching calls, and I'm like, why are you holding all these tokens? Yeah, I should have sold it, but it was like free, so I didn't. It's the common thing I hear. So that's sort of my update on basically on airdrops. Now, I do want to just remind you guys that if you haven't done so already, you can go to the Odos website. This sort of went live 2 days ago, I believe. And basically you can go in, once you load the website, you just sort of sign to connect, and you can claim your rewards. And then once you're done that, if you want to sell it, you can go to trade, and then you can use a single swap, limit orders, or advance to basically swap through right here. I've already sold my Odos. Odos has appreciated a tiny bit, so it's pretty good. Now, I did make a video, I guess 7 days ago, on what I call the wealth effect. Now, what the wealth effect is basically right now, people are just about to start making money. But if you've been here in previous cycles, what you start seeing is at the top of the market, people just have so much money and they don't want to leave and they want places to put that money. So part of the rotation here is finding what those assets are, buying them early, and basically getting ready to sell them at a way higher price to people when they're ready to do it. And I've sort of talk about that approach in this video. Make sure you look at it because it has a lot of relevancy with today's topic, and I think it's very worthwhile watching this once or two times to make sure you understand exactly what you need to do and how long you have to do it. So this brings us to the NFT portion. I just want to talk about a few things. So number one, after Magic Eden had their airdrop, once again, the Magic Eden token went down. Surprise, surprise, who would have seen that coming? The same thing with OpenSea. When they have their token, it's not going to do well. Like a lot of the tokens that end up doing well or end up sort of being financially related and not just like some NFT protocol governance token or something. So OpenSea is going to do their token, right? Like they've created a foundation, which is what a lot of these things do. And it's likely because of the lax regulations with the incoming presidency. Pluid, created an NFT value checker. So you can actually go, and if you open this website, I've already opened it. Basically, you go in there, you type in your address, and it will literally look at sort of, what potential airdrop you can get. If it's, if they're doing a 5 billion valuation, giving away 15%, based on my amount, I get $1,500. But you can see here, you can see exactly what you've been doing on OpenSea. And if you are buying and selling NFTs, which is definitely a lucrative process, make sure you look to do it on OpenSea for the next little while, because you're not going to get rewarded on Magic Eden, for example. I mean, maybe you could do Tensor if you'd like to do trades, right? But Blur and Magic Eden aren't really going to reward you the same way right now. And I would sort of, do my transactions on OpenSea just to sort of make sure you sort of accrue some more volume if that snapshot is not being taken. So you can go on here, you can find what's trending. What I like to do is I like to trade bigger collections, right? Collections like Genesis Box and Duplicator, we'll talk about in a second, but you can trade big collections, right? And speaking of big collections, as you guys know, wow, that's going to give me a seizure if I leave it on for too long. The flashing lights. Basically, I picked up a Pudgy Penguin maybe a few days ago or a week ago. And when Burnt Toast, which is sort of associated with Doodles, right, basically wrote, take ownership, keep evolving, new ideas, shape communities, open minds, inspire new growth. Or roughly speaking, token is coming. Well, a lot of people started buying up the Doodle floor. In fact, I was one of them. What I will show you here is I had bought the Doodle in this range right here. So I had bought it at like 6.9 ETH, and I noticed it didn't break. It went up to this the same point over here, but it did not break that level. So I knew it was going to come down. So I instantly sold it. We were live actually, and I talked about it on an AMA. I bought it for 6.95, sold it for 7.25 after fees, so it's not bad, right? I sold down OpenSea at the volume, but look, it's sort of come down. So we're gonna see what happens here, because there is that airdrop coming. Now, if you want to potentially get the airdrop, but you don't want to put in the kind of money like 6 ETH or whatever, you could also look at the Genesis boxes, right? It's sort of a derivative of Doodles. You can look at the duplicators once again, but there's no guarantee this is going to be rewarded. But what I would say here is, we saw what happened with Pudgy Penguins. It wasn't just the big ones that got rewarded. It was sort of the rods, the little Pudgies, and a few other things got rewarded in their ecosystem. There's also a quest on layer 3 that has 3,500 participants left. You get OP, but it's a Doodle comic one. So it could also help you for this airdrop. I don't know. Just wanted to highlight this because I saw this in the timeline. The next thing I want to talk about is it was somewhat annoying for a lot of people because this is an incredible NFT Genesis collection. and they're doing mints in 3 phases. So early users and supporters, eligible yappers, and public. Now, a lot of people did not add their wallet to the Yap portion of Kaito AI, and this ends up being a huge thing because it wasn't really set up in the UI. Like, you had to go and look for a small area that you wouldn't think about doing, but they're basically giving out 1,500 NFTs on OpenSea. The mint is 0.1. I'm just going to show you quickly, like, here's what the criteria is, right? So phase 1, there's 1,000 NFTs among 491 eligible wallets. Then there's 500 among 1371 eligible wallets. And then the rest is first come, first serve. And if you take a look at the opportunity, the current floor price of those NFTs is 2.5 ETH with half minted out. Just imagine that you were able to get into phase 2. If you did connect your wallet, you should be able to pick one of these up. And, you know, if not, public phase is going to be like literally like everyone's going to be trying to spam this. I would be surprised if OpenSea doesn't completely crash, just take a look. 0.1 ETH to 25x in like a second, and that's like likely going to go up as well. This is as high as 3.9 earlier today, so just something to keep in mind. And if you haven't joined Kaito AI yet, I put a link to join in sort of the description below as well. And the reason for that is what happens with Kaito AI is they will likely have an airdrop in the future. The way Kaito works is it looks at your tweets and your interactions, and basically it's trying to get rid of all the bots, right? So it's basically trying to say, okay, who's actually a real person and who's actually providing value on Twitter. So like they have what's called smart followers and everything, and the higher you can get that ratio and the more you engage in sort of meaningful back and forth dialogue that's not robotic, you get rewarded. So it's a great evolution on what we saw in the past, which was just a bunch of people spamming like lingo and whatever those other things were on Twitter. Now, one of the things I do want to mention is we had that Mammoth mint. Now, guys, if you watch my previous video, I gave you the heads up before the mint went live. I gave you the heads up, I believe the day before. I think so. But basically, you know, the first phase took like 2 days to mint out, or not mint out, but 2 days to sort of finish. And then the second phase minted out very, very fast. 0.75 Celestia. Current floor is 377, right? It's like a 400x on that play. And it just speaks to what incredible opportunities exist in this space. Because if you're always out there and you're sitting there trying to be in the trenches and looking at people doing meme coins and whatever, you're not like, this is not as lucrative because it's so hard to win. It's so much easier to win when you have a very small type of collection. You're able to sort of monitor like excitement and hype. And it was very clear that Mammoth would be a top collection. In fact, I was trying to mint on multiple wallets. Never got the chance to do it just because I didn't have another wallet that was sort of qualified the same way my main farming wallet was. Lesson learned for next time though, because what you can do is you can go into Modularium and you can actually see once again, what do they need? What do they care about to try to make sure that next time you have multiple wallets that can be eligible for phase 1 ready to go. Because like I said, it's a 400x. Now, when these things happen, I'm going to be honest with you guys. I sold my Mammoth NFT for 230 Celestia. And you're like, what the hell, Brown Gent? Why are we following this guy if he's not maximizing on everything? Now, I'm gonna be very straight up and honest with you. I sent this message in our Web3 Secret Society. I have a private channel where I literally just post about my thoughts and sort of what I'm doing. So I listed my NFT for 230 Celestia. It sold in like 5 minutes. But basically, it was a 300x for my mint price and like, $1,200 profit US, right? Now, people keep asking me on everything, whether it's an airdrop, an NFT, whatever it may be, where do I sell? Listen, I don't have a crystal ball. I can't see the future. What I can tell you, though, is you want to understand what's the value of that money for you. Can you rotate it into something you have high conviction in? Now, I had zero conviction in the Mammoth for a couple reasons. Number one, the Celestine Sloth already exists, right? I was saying that the narrative behind the Mammoth was, but Celestia is bull posting it, Eclipse is bull posting it, they talked about it, they have the Mammoth in their handle. I'm like, all right, great, that's fantastic. But you know what? I have zero faith in Celestia. I've dumped all my Celestia. In fact, I bought Celestia back to do this mint. But besides that, I don't care about the Celestia modularity thesis. I'm completely off it. I'm going to be focused on other things. So I looked at this NFT mint as something that's, hey, great. I know it's going to be great. I'm going to capitalize and we're good, you know? And I told people, hey, if you got conviction in the Mammoth and you want to hold on to it, by all means. I'd rather put that in something else that I have conviction in. So I put that money into Pepe, right? Pepe's up 20%. This is up like, what is it? Like from 230 to 370. So this is up like about 50, like this is up like 35% from there, 35 to 40. So it's not the worst, but like you guys gotta understand, like if you're expecting somebody to know with 100% certainty which way it's gonna go, you never know. Another example here I'm going to show you is what happened on Scope. So I did 10 of these mints, okay? So I minted 10 of these at 0.03. I think they might have done the airdrop now. I don't know. But basically, I got the opportunity after buying 10 of these, right? Which was like, you know, a limited mint as well. And this one didn't take too long. This one took a long time actually to mint out. I bought 10 and I sold them all for 0.05 ETH. So like I basically made like a 67% gain on that investment in like 30 minutes post launch or an hour or two post launch. And this one has come down since then. So you just never know. Like, forget about trying to be perfect. Forget about that. Like, what I want you guys to know, because people can always ask this, no one knows what to buy and sell at. The only way you'll know is if you have high conviction, right? I screwed up. The only one that I screwed up on that I actually regret was selling 80% of my hyperliquid airdrop. I truly got the hyperliquid price I deserved because I ended up buying back in at a higher price, and I have not been selling. In fact, I have only been adding to my hyperliquid. I've kind of taken profits on one wallet and bought on the other wallet because of rebalancing. But beyond that, I have kept my hyperliquid position the same, and I'm continuing to add to it. I have conviction in hyperliquid. I don't have conviction in Mammoth. That doesn't mean that I think it's a bad NFT or a bad project, but I look at $1,200 or whatever that I got from very little work and go, you know what? I will cash out, and I don't need this to come to fruition. And if this ends up going 10x, I'm happy for them. I will take that money and I will use it as liquidity to mint other things in Pepe and whatever else, right? So this is what I want you guys to see as well. Don't kick yourself, like don't be upset with yourself because you made a move that ended up not being perfect. None of us are going to be able to make perfect moves. People who tell you that are just lying to you, right? For every single person who sort of diamond hands everything, they likely underperform because they aren't actually picking things they have conviction in. They're literally just hoping things will work out. Okay. Now, based on all this, I do want to provide you some more context. So here's a thread on the Mammoth Overload. Like, this is somebody saying like they expect that the NFT will hit $5,000 in Q1 and it will return several times its value in airdrop. So there's some info here. So yeah, like what I talked about, Celestia has the Mammoth emoji in the Twitter bio, right? They're planning a Mammothon hackathon in February, right? It was launched by Celestia contributors on Forma Chain. And basically, blue chip NFTs in Cosmos Celestia have a history of getting many big airdrops. So we did see this with Bad Kids Art and Celestian slots. He's overestimating, I believe, how much slots got. Because I know Bad Kids got a bunch, because I have Bad Kids. Slots, I had it for a tiny bit. I didn't get that much. And one of the airdrops, I believe, you still have to do something extra on top of it. So, once again, this is great. People are bold posting. If you can rotate and use the capital somewhere else, you believe, go for it. There is going to be a Tusk airdrop, though, to all Mammoths. So I've included sort of some of the threads. This is from sort of Stakecito's group. So that's cool as well. So the next update I have for you is Anzin Finance. So, this claim went live about 12 days ago, but you have about like 16 more days left to claim if you haven't already. So just go on here, check eligibility for address. This is the Jumper Exchange campaign. So if you did it, congratulations. The next update is finally the game of mitosis is coming to an end. I'm at Emerald 3. I joined this so late and I wasn't really doing anything, but hey, happy with where I am. My assets, I got like 5096 Mito. Just keep in mind, remember, 70% of your airdrop value for mitosis, at least from the testnet, will come from the Mito, and the other 30% will come from your other assets. So do not just sort of make all your other assets zero. If you do, then you get a high value for one part of it, and the other part of it gets zero. So don't do that. Just keep some assets as well in sort of non-mitosis, okay? Not financial advice. Next update for you guys is Avalanche. So we haven't talked about Avalanche in almost a year. I know I covered the arena about a year ago when it got launched. It was pretty good, or maybe like 10 months ago. But basically, they did a retro drop recently, which is basically they rewarded people for voting over here in Retro 9000. They will likely do it again. If you look at sort of the history of Avalanche and other projects, so it's still sort of under farm. So if you can just use the link in the description, that's actually my referral link, but if you want to check it out, go in here and just sort of vote every so often. I'm voting on the arena because I really like this protocol. But hey, you do it and you may get some extra Avalanche token. The last drop was 3 Avalanche for people who voted, so you never know. And the final update I have, and I mentioned this on the AMA, is the Beam node. So I just want to let you guys know, I think there's like a day and a half left to actually purchase these nodes before the price triples. I'm not affiliated with them in any way, but I do have a video coming out on Beam and sort of my investment. So I'm investing a lot in Beam and Superverse, and that's sort of the gaming part of my portfolio. What the Beam Foundation is doing is people who mint the Beam nodes, they're burning an almost equivalent amount of the Beam token as well. So it's not like they're just printing things out of thin air. And if you want to sort of stake this node after the fact into validators to earn the rewards, that's the whole point. They will be tripling the price. And I know people are going to ask, well, can I resell it then? You can likely resell it after all the sales are done. And I likely will be doing that as well, looking for a 2 to 3x on my investment in likely a month or two. So telling you guys, this is something like I really don't like nodes most of the time. This one, in my opinion, is good. And if you want a discount, I've included my code in the description below. You can go in here, you can click mint node token, and you can go to whatever chain you want and mint it. Probably be cheaper for you to do it on Base or Arbitrum 1. Ethereum, obviously the higher gas, but pick whichever one is good for you. So that's pretty much it for this video, guys. I hope you enjoyed it. Let's just see sort of what's going on in these comments here. Sean Shepard, what do you think of Canna Sapiens and Monadians NFTs? I don't really know much about them, but hey, like once again, there's going to be a full NFT craze. Meme coins have just too much rugs in it, and there's something more exclusive about NFTs, and especially if they're mints. If you can mint an NFT, most mints that are like hyped or whatever will give you like multiples very easily. So like if you're always asking yourself, what should I do? Just mint multiple. That's what I'll be doing. That's why I minted 10 of those stupid NFTs on Scope. I didn't really know that much about that NFT when I did it. The Solar Champions is part of a DEX. But I'm like, hey, 0.03, let's do it. Boom, good to go. 70% on it. And yeah, I just take profits right away, right? So the same thing, like the Mammoth one is great. There's going to be some others. I actually posted another important NFT mint that's tomorrow in the Web3 Secret Society. But once again, like these are going to be some of the most lucrative opportunities that exist. FUD Zero, good morning, BG. Hey, good morning, FUD Zero. This crypto Twitter is quite honestly say, yeah, well, it's worth looking into. But what I'm saying is, so say like we've already gone through what you got to do to qualify for the airdrop, which is be very focused in DeFi. What I will say for you, FUD Zero, is I would look more into Sui, and I would look more into Phantom/Sonic, because they're about to sort of, the mainnet just launched for Sonic. You can migrate your Phantom token to Sonic, which I would recommend everyone does if you have any. Not financial advice, but I'm doing it because they will likely have a bonus multiplier for early users. Like, we know the airdrop is coming, right? Like they've already announced it. We already know it's like 200 million, right? So it's going to be huge. And now they're going to bring on these liquidity protocols, and you want to just start using those, right? Use the lend borrow strategy that I've outlined in my videos. You can check it on the main channel. and that's going to help you out big time. That's what I would be focusing on more than anything else. I would not be looking into, say, swapping on mitosis worked 1 out of 10 times for me. The testnet, yeah. Testnets are always complete trash and they don't work that well. I found that disabling Rabby and going to MetaMask helped a lot, especially cutting a lot of the errors with like the Ethereum Sepolia. Great rundown, appreciate it as always. Yeah, not a problem, Sport Mug. Market is bloody. Well, you know that means I gotta run then. Well, guys, thank you so much for watching. Really appreciate you guys all being here. As always, I'm going to be here this entire bull run to support you guys. We're going to make sure that every time there's a fantastic opportunity, there's a shift in sentiment, I'll make sure I cover it. Make sure you guys sort of know. And by the way, sorry, I didn't mean main channel. So it is the main channel, but I have a set of videos. So I have the live video set that all these go in under, and then regular videos where I just sort of record and upload. It's under those, okay? It's called This One Action Will, multiply your portfolio or something. It's like it says 20x or whatever. So I would look at that video. But yeah, guys, really appreciate it. I'm here for this entire bull run to make sure that you guys are successful. Make sure you drop me a comment if you have any questions, any thoughts, or any comments or whatever, right? Feedback. And definitely hit the like button, share the video, subscribe to the channel. Until next time, I'll see you in the next video. Bye.